I
All
don't
right.
know. Do you want to do the start?
No, you can.
I can do the start.
I did it last time.
I did it last time.
No, you didn't.
I did it 4 and 3. I thought.
No, you did not. We switch off.
Okay, I guess it's my turn. What should I do then?
Say hey.
Hey,
Just start it off like you normally would.
hey,
Hey,
how's it going?
Gucci.
You wanna listen to some sports?
No.
Do you want us to tell you about some sports?
Oh yeah.
I can get my real deep
Oh
radio
yeah.
voice, son.
Oh yeah.
Mitch, is this really deep? Do I sound like I should be doing something like jazz radio?
You sound sensual.
You're listening to 101.3 The Jazz. Welcome back to the Andy and Mitch Show. My name is Andy Olson, and I'm joined by my partner in crime, Mitch Stangle. Mitch, say hello.
Hello.
If you're watching this for the first time, this is the Andy and Mitch Show, a sports podcast. Isn't that right, Mitch?
I love sports.
We do love sports. Thank you for telling the audience that, Mitch. This is episode 005.
It's crazy, isn't it?
If you didn't read the title,
005.
we'll tell you right now
We're
that 005.
1/20th of the way to 100.
I know. We set that lofty goal at the very beginning.
It's crazy.
Of getting to 100. We're 5 there. So thank you to everyone that watches this.
Thank you guys so much for coming every week, and showing us the support and showing us that you enjoy what we do. It keeps us going. I know that Andy and I love the support that you guys have shown on all the videos so far. Keep it coming on Twitter, keep the comments, keep the likes, keep the views up. You guys are doing great, and as long as you guys keep watching, we'll keep making. So
every new subscriber, I go and just run a marathon because subscribers make me want to better myself. No, so I've run a collective 260 miles so far.
Wow.
Yeah, it's intense.
But seriously, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you all very, very much.
We do, even if you didn't appreciate it.
Yeah.
Mitch and I still talk to ourselves. It's better.
Yeah.
It's better when people listen to us, but we'd probably still talk to ourselves. So, episode 5. Thank you for watching. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this a lot more. We got a lot more coming up. We're gonna go back to school in a couple of weeks here,
which is crazy.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll have a little bit better lighting.
Maybe I might have worse lighting.
You probably will.
You're gonna be in a dorm room, so you're definitely gonna have worse lighting. As you can see, I'm repping the ISU stuff today.
I got my Chelsea jersey on.
Cause Steve Cease called me out for treason on Twitter because I complimented U of I's uniforms.
You did.
So if you're listening to this, Steve, I can show you right here, right now. It's all ISU.
Reppin'
ISU. Yeah, it's been a while since we've done one of these because you've been in
it's been 2 weeks.
You've been in not the country. That's
I've been in the Dominican Republic. Can't you tell? I'm so tan.
You look so tan.
Oh yeah.
You look ginger. Tan. You look ginger in this light. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, I usually am ginger.
That's a form of red. Of tan.
Yeah, I guess. But no, honestly, it was so great. I met so many people. It's so funny. I was wearing like Cubs gear and like Bulls gear while I was there, and all the servers were like, oh, it was Sammy Sosa, Michael Jordan, and I'm like, oh.
How many people spoke English, do you think?
Well, actually, there were a lot of Haitians, because Haiti and the Dominican Republic are connected.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the workers from the Dominican spoke primarily Spanish, while the Haitians spoke English. And so most of the workers were from Haiti because they could speak English. So I was able to communicate with a lot of them, and I speak a little bit of Spanish too, so I was able to communicate with the Dominicans as well and the locals, and that was really cool.
Mr. Spanish man over here.
Not really, but...
I took 2 years of Spanish. Big deal.
I was the president of Spanish National Honor Society at my high school.
I got a B in Spanish. Is that the same?
No.
Oh, okay.
But it was really cool. It was funny because Sammy Sosa's from the Dominican, and so
Yeah.
everyone knows him. When you think Chicago, we would walk in and all the waiters and waitresses would be like, "Oh, Chicago,
Sammy Sosa.
Sammy Sosa,
That's
man."
really funny to think about. That all the Dominican Republic knows about Chicago is Sammy Sosa.
I mean, a lot of them don't pay attention
Considering, I mean, considering
to MLB.
The Cubs don't even want anything to do with him anymore. Which, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, Sammy Sosa. I like Sammy Sosa. We had this discussion about
I like
Sammy.
Sosa.
I think it was episode 2. Was our
Yeah,
Sammy
it
Sosa
was, yeah.
episode.
But you recently had something awesome happen to you too. Tell
did.
the folks.
So, as some folks may recall, I work with the Kenosha Kingfish in their production staff. And this, now it wasn't weekend, but earlier this week, yesterday and Monday, they had the honor of hosting the Northwoods League All-Star festivities, as you would have it. The Northwoods League is an 18-team summer collegiate baseball league, primarily in Wisconsin and Minnesota. It started like early 90s. The players don't get paid because they're all in college. But everyone else kind of gets paid, except for me. I'm a volunteer, which sucks. But one of the cool things that they decided to do with the All-Star festivities, because the ballpark that they play in, Simmons Field, is not really known as a home run hitters park. I mean, think like Wrigley Field at the 1990 All-Star Game. I don't know if you know this, Mitch, but Ryan Sandberg won that home run derby at Wrigley Field in 1990, and he hit 4 home runs total. I want to say, just because the wind was blowing in and no one could hit home runs that day.
Yeah.
So they didn't want another one of those scenarios. So instead of having it at the field, because Kenosha is so close to Lake Michigan, they actually brought almost the entire stadium, most of the staff and most of the grills and the seating. They brought all of that down to the harbor on Lake Michigan, and they had
That's awesome.
They had hitters hitting home runs into Lake Michigan. It was one of the coolest things I've ever done. Yeah, I was working.
It's like AT&T Park.
Yeah, except it was the whole field. It was so cool. They had a huge boat out in center field. It wasn't a field. They had like a little buoy system that was the wall. They had kayaks out there retrieving the balls.
That's so cool.
I think the attendance was like 3,000 people,
wow,
which was awesome. I think that's probably more than any game that they've had for like a regular season game this year. It was super awesome, especially getting everyone from the Northwoods League there. I got to work with my friends, my boss Joey, who I consider friends, and the broadcaster Robert. We got to record that, and it should be up sometime. I would definitely watch it because it's super cool, and not just because I was one of the cameras in there, but just because it was such a cool experience. And Marty Bikina of the Kenosha Kingfish, he had 6 home runs. The format was, they formatted it as a 9-inning game. They brought 9 hitters from the north and 9 hitters from the south. Kenosha's in the south, so they were the home team. So every hitter was like a half inning.
Got it.
And each half inning they got like 6 outs. But
interesting.
It was tough being a left-handed hitter because to me it looked like the buoys were coming closer, coming in on the left field side, so right fielders could just pull that ball over the left field wall. You got to use quotations around all this. It was just such a cool time. And then there were fireworks after the game. CBS Sports and Fox Sports both had write-ups about it. And it was kind of funny because I'm like, if I was writing for one of these big companies, I would definitely write about something like this.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And then I'm scrolling through Twitter yesterday, and I follow CBS Sports MLB, and it wasn't even retweeted by anyone that I know that works there. I just saw it in my timeline. CBS Sports MLB. Kenosha hosts All-Star Home Run Derby at the Kenosha Harbor. I'm like, oh, I was there.
You're like, that's me.
That's me. I did that. But it was so cool. You won't even. You'd still get to see how cool it was if you watched the video, but you had to be there. It was such a cool experience. And then getting to work the All-Star game, getting to meet the commissioner of the Northwoods League. Cool experience. A great way to end. I believe it was 10 games in 12 days.
Wow.
The stretch I had, yeah. I had 4 days on, a day off, 4 days on, a day off, home run derby all-star game.
Wow.
It was tough, but you know what? I made it through it because I
Heck
love
yeah.
baseball, and I had to keep reminding myself of that every time. So it wasn't as relaxing as your trip. You were just laying around.
I did nothing. I read.
Yeah, each of your days of vacation, every day that you were sitting on the beach or whatever you were doing, I was working, driving 30 minutes to Kenosha
Look at
so I can
you.
work baseball. Yeah, I know. Pretty
Good job.
impressive. But that's what I did with my time. I also yesterday I applied to be verified on Twitter.
Good luck.
Thank you. I'm gonna continue to submit applications every 30 days because they only allow you to do it every 30 days. I suggest you do the same, Mitch, if you want to be verified.
I will. And speaking of Twitter, you guys know, or if you don't know, use the hashtag Andy and Mitch. If you guys want to talk to us on Twitter, give us fan suggested topics. We actually have a fan suggested topic again today. That's awesome.
Woo! Yeah. Yeah, I'm pointing at it right now. And if you want to follow us, I'm gonna change where my finger is pointing to up. You can follow me at Yolson2016.
You can follow me at Mitch Stengel. Yeah. Subscribe, comment, like. You know, if you're watching this on YouTube, when you are watching this on YouTube.
Point at it, Mitch. Point at where it is.
I can't.
It's your left side. Up. There it is. There it is. That's the money shot right there. All right, so we've been babbling a lot.
Speaking of baseball, shall we go?
Yeah, let's go. We've been too much babbling.
The MLB Trade Deadline is coming up August 1st. The trade deadline dominoes have started to fall with Vogelbach from the Cubs, a AAA player, getting traded for the Mariners' Mike Montgomery, which really, really boosts the Cubs' relief pitching.
Yeah, it does.
Lucroy is said to go to the Indians next. So, Andy, I'm going to ask you this. Are the hypothetical MLB Trade Deadline dominoes falling?
Yes, they are, because we're currently 11 days away from the deadline. The trade deadline, it is, I believe, it's around noon on July 31st.
Yeah, it is.
It's around then. So we are 11 days away from that happening. And this is typically where you see the most trades. You'll see a lot of trades coming in at the last minute, but most blockbuster trades come earlier. I think back to 2014 when Samardzija Hamel was sent to the Athletics for Russell. That one happened on July 4th, so like almost a full month before the actual trade deadline. And, you know, it usually takes a while to hammer all these things out, but sometimes you'll get the big trade that didn't take a long time to deliberate on. So those are ones that we'll see earlier, like the Mike Montgomery trade. You know, I was sad to see Dan Vogelbach go because one of our friends, Sam Bernier, said it best when he said the Cubs fans were waiting for this day for Dan Vogelbach to get traded for 2 years, and it is finally here. The day is finally here. Bye-bye, Dan Vogelbach.
Well, you know, most MLB fans don't know who Vogelbach is.
That's true, yeah.
You know, so let's talk about some high-profile MLB players. Let's start with the Yankees. The Yankees are supposed to be huge sellers this year, Andy. So what will they do with Andrew Miller and Aroldis Chapman?
It's funny because they're supposed to be huge sellers, but there are some reports that are like their owner may not let them be sellers because they're the Yankees and they're supposed to have this high-profile image, which, you know, it brings up a topic that I heard on ESPN 1000 the other day where, you know, using the Chicago baseball as an example, the White Sox are so afraid to rebuild because they're losing so much of the young crowd to the Cubs by the Cubs just being so good right now.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the Yankees. They're afraid to move Miller and Chapman, maybe Castro, Beltran, because they don't want to be second fiddle to the Mets, which has happened almost like never in history.
It's currently happening, though.
Oh, it definitely is happening because
definitely,
even with them trying to do patchwork on the team and keep it together by buying during the off season, they're just falling apart.
Well, this year especially, no way, no matter who you get on your team, you are not going to be better than the Mets this year. You know, that's just a fact. You're not going to be better than the Mets are creating something really, really nice. You know, up there.
The pitching staff is just
it's young and it's phenomenal.
A+.
You know? And so, if you're the Yankees, I know it's hard, but you need to rebuild.
Yeah, you got to get rid of Chapman, and Miller, Beltran. No one's going to take Rodriguez.
All right, well, where do they go then?
All
Where
right.
do you see any destinations?
I thought the Cubs maybe, but I don't know. This whole Montgomery trade has me a little weird with the Yankees now, because I always thought that Vogelback was going to be like a big piece in Miller and Chapman deals, because being a Cubs fan, you realize that Chapman could be in the major leagues right now as a first baseman or DH, most likely DH because of his fielding.
Wait, did you say Vogelback?
Yeah, Vogelback.
You said Chapman.
Did I say Chapman? Oh man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Vogelback could be in the majors right now because of his bat. It was just that he had that roadblock of Rizzo being the all-star first baseman.
That'll happen too. Yeah.
Now. Yeah. So he knew he was going to get moved. He was probably kept in triple. I don't want to say he was kept in AAA for too long. You can't keep someone in AAA too long.
Yeah.
But he was in there for a long time, and I don't think he should be in the major leagues. He should have been. So I thought teams would have realized that and made him one of the bigger pieces in deals. Apparently it just never happened with the Yankees. The Yankees are looking at Schwarber, which we will get into later. That's never going to happen.
Yeah, no.
So the Cubs are confusing me again, because Theo Epstein came out with a statement that the pieces used in the Mariners deal were not pieces that they were talking with like any other teams with. So it's like, Vogelback wasn't even a piece in the Yankees deal. Now my mind is spinning. Like, now who do the Yankees want if they can't have Schwarber, and they're not going to go after Vogelback, who are almost the same type of player, who are the same type of player, almost the same player. Who are they going after? Because I just can't think of anybody in the Cubs system right now. So me personally, I have the Cubs just off the Yankees list, because they can probably get better deals elsewhere. The Cubs aren't going to move top prospects like Almora, Contreras, Schwarber. They're not going to move those guys.
No,
but teams like Cleveland, the Nationals, they have a lot of prospects just kind of waiting in the wings that they could move.
And I think Cleveland could be a huge buyer this year. Unless they play it a little bit smart and they say, you know what, we have a good thing going here. Mm-hmm. And we might have a good thing going for a little bit. Their team is decently young.
Oh yeah, definitely. And they still have some good prospects coming up too.
Exactly. And so, they'll either buy, kind of like we've seen teams do at the last minute, buy because you think this is the year, like the Blue Jays did last year. They bought, and it worked out horribly.
I wouldn't say horribly. They did get to the ALCS.
I guess.
Didn't win the World Series, which is what you ultimately want.
Yeah.
Horribly, in my mind, is the 2014 Athletics, which gave up Addison Russell to lose in the wild card game.
You're right.
That's horrible. And they gave up Yoenis Cespedes that year to get John Lester. But you mentioned Cleveland, pretty much like being ultimate buyers this year, like Toronto last year. Maybe.
I don't think they should, but they might be.
I don't know if they should either, but I think they will. Because
that would be a Cleveland thing to do.
You literally look at every player that is possibly going to be traded this year, and just Cleveland is one of the ones on the list. If you were to see the list that we have on our side of the screen of our topics, Cleveland is almost in like every player in there as possible suitors for them. But for Chapman and Miller, I don't know if they go to the same place.
I don't think they do. I don't think that
you would have to get someone
a lot.
You'd have to get a lot back. One of the Nationals pitching prospects, Lucas, I want to say his last name is Giolito.
Mm-hmm,
I think it is Giolito.
It is Giolito, yeah.
I think I read somewhere. Again, you can't trust a lot of what you read on the internet. So all of this is speculation. That I read that the Nationals would be not okay with, but they would be willing to give up Giolito for Miller and Chapman, which in my mind means they would get both Miller and Chapman. I mean, imagine that Chapman reunion with Dusty Baker as well, who was his manager in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I would like that.
Yeah. So the history's there. It's just on the Nationals GM to set that up, and that would be terrifying as a
Yeah.
Cubs fan to have the Nationals get better with Miller and Chapman. So
Yeah.
I want Cleveland to be buyers, really.
Yeah.
You know me as a rebuilding man at heart.
Yeah.
Like at the slightest just sense that things are going wrong, I want to go full rebuild because I enjoy doing that. Uh, um, well, not as a fan, as a
Yeah.
GM, as a fictional GM in
Yeah.
video games, I want to go full rebuild. Uh, so I want to go against the grain with Cleveland on this for me because it'd be more beneficial in for my best interests that Cleveland end up with Miller and Chapman. I'm not sure who they'd give up though.
Yeah, I don't know.
They don't have that same just superstar potential
No, no.
player waiting in the wings like the
Yeah.
Nationals do with a couple of their guys.
Yeah. And I guess, now we should turn to another AL team,
Yeah.
the Rays. Rays they started off pretty good actually, didn't they? I don't remember.
They were close. There was a
Okay.
while where everyone in the AL East was at or above 500.
Got it.
For a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah. And but now,
They've
a lot of
fallen
teams are
off.
looking at them as complete sellers. And you look at star players on their team like Evan Longoria, Chris Archer. These names are being thrown around. Andy, where do you see them going?
Oh man, it's tough with Longo because he's been a Rays lifer.
I don't think that they should trade him. He meant so much to the club.
Yeah,
He's fallen off.
he definitely has. It's similar to Tulowitzki in Colorado
Yeah.
last year, where he's
Hmm.
meant so much to that franchise, and it'd be a lot to have to give up to him. But I
It
think
would.
if they get a good return, the Rays need to
Well,
jump on that.
I think if you want Longoria, you're going to have to pay for him
Because he means
just
so much to
just
Tampa
because
Bay.
yeah, exactly, because he means so much to that
Yeah.
community and that fan base. I mean, Chris Archer does as well because but
Not as
Longoria's been
much.
there for so long, and I even remember when he got called up. I saw it on Sports Center, and fans were wild for this kid, and he played so well when he started his career.
Yeah.
That people went crazy, and I, like I said, he has fallen off, but I think teams are gonna have to overpay for him.
Yeah, I'm with you on this. Some of the suitors that I've read for Longo are Dodgers, Cardinals, and Cleveland. Look at them pop up again. Cleveland could use a third baseman,
They could.
so it makes sense there.
That makes a lot of sense.
Dodgers could also use a third baseman, and the Dodgers and the Cardinals less so in this year,
Yeah.
I think. The Dodgers and Cardinals are just two teams that are always good and loaded with prospects.
Well, see, but it's the Dodger thing to do to go out and get someone like Evan Longoria.
Exactly.
And so I think that he could be that could be a very high potential destination for him.
I am with you on this one.
But in the end, I don't think that they'll get rid of him. I don't think that they should, unless they get something great.
I'm gonna go with that. I think they will get rid of him because I did a little bit of research mid-show right there. I don't know if you saw me typing, but Andrew Friedman, who is the current GM of the Dodgers, used to be the GM of the Rays.
Oh.
So you got that connection there with Longo. You have that previous experience with the franchise. If it wasn't a bad divorce, they still have that connection. So it's very possible that Archer
That's
and
true.
Longo
I didn't know
could
that.
make their way to Los Angeles.
Both of them?
It's possible. I don't know. That's the thing. Is Los Angeles needs pitching help.
They do.
I saw
desperately.
Oh yeah, I saw a stat today where
Kershaw could be out.
Kershaw could be out for a while. There's something
the rest of their pitching staff is trash.
There's something like I can't remember the stat, but
it's
they only have
4 point something, I think.
They only have
their ERA.
Yeah, they only have 3 losses and starts by Kershaw, and they're like 1 under 500 and starts by any other starting pitcher with like a 4.0 ERA.
They need Chris Archer.
Yeah, imagine Chris Archer on that staff.
Oof.
That'd be nice.
His record is sub 500, I think, but he's still a deadly pitcher. It says he plays for the Rays.
Yeah, to me that has more to do with the Rays than it does Archer.
Yeah.
But Archer would be he'd him and Longoria would add a ton to that team.
It would.
The Pirates are another team that could go after Archers or the Rangers.
Him on the Range. Oh, that would put the Rangers over the top.
Yeah, Cardinals. Not Cardinals. Excuse me. Rangers have a good staff already.
Yeah.
Darvish, Hamels, Holland. I believe Derek Holland is still on that staff. He is.
I believe so. Yeah.
It sounds silly, but sometimes I get my MLB The Show franchise confused with reality. So that's why I'm hesitant on players. Like, are they still there? Like, I can't remember. I keep saying people will get traded. I think Miller and Chapman will get traded because I think it's the right thing for the Yankees to do.
Yeah.
Will the owners do it? I'm like 50-50 on that. But for Longo and Archer, I'm way more positive that they will get traded than I am Miller Chapman. I think a deal will get done just because of where they are right now.
Yeah,
one of the worst.
I think so as well.
Yeah, so trades.
And I guess staying in Los Angeles, lots and lots of talk about the former. I mean, do you remember when this guy came into the league, Andy?
Absolutely.
He took the league by storm.
You could not have missed it when he came into the league.
Yasiel Puig is on the trading block for the Dodgers. You know, and like we said, this kid was phenomenal. You know, and people were, what was it, 2014?
Yeah, 2014 when he first came out.
When he
Cuba.
took the league by storm.
Yeah.
He's fallen off quite a bit, you know, nowadays, but he could still be a very, very valuable asset to a team. And maybe if he gets out of Los Angeles, his head will be screwed on right.
Yeah, it's weird seeing this name get thrown around just because we see the Dodgers as trading partners for other people who are I lost my thought. Hold on. You see them as trading partners trying to acquire assets, not get rid of them. And then you see Puig on the trading block, someone who has not been as important in recent years as he once was, but still a big part of their team. Still, in the same sentence, I can see Puig easily going to the Rays.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah. You know, now that we talked about that, I think that he could be an asset when trying to get Longo, Archer, and that might even push the Dodgers bid over the top for either of those players or both of them.
I'm trying to find his contract right now because he's young. We definitely know he's young.
Yes, he's very young.
If he's controllable, he is. He's signed. He will become a free agent in 2020.
Wow, so he's still got a few years.
Yeah, he's young and he's controllable. So those are both very valuable to teams.
Especially a team like the Rays that are looking for that superstar player that are going to get fans to come out and watch the game.
Yeah. Currently, Oakland, Tampa Bay, and Cleveland and then the White Sox, I believe, are the lowest attended teams in the league.
Wow.
Which was brought up in expansion talks. You know me that I love expansion as well, Mitch. As much as I love rebuilding, I just have to throw this in that Rob Manfred said that they have to figure out the stadium situations in Oakland and Tampa Bay before they expand, which I think is good that you have the commissioner.
I agree.
Worried about
fix up those
current
franchises before you try and expand.
Yeah, the MLB is I think is the only Big Four sports league that doesn't need a team to relocate. I think every one of their teams is in a good spot if they all have good stadiums. Yeah. Which Puig might help with that. He might stir up some fan interest. A big player from Cuba, and they're in Florida. There's a huge Cuban population in Florida.
Yeah, fans would love that.
Oh, they would definitely love that. I think as much as it would hurt for them to lose Longoria, I think they'd be equally as excited to get Puig back in that deal. Mm-hmm. And, just being out of LA would probably help his growth a little bit. Because he's still a great player. He's comparable to Starlin Castro. That he's a great player, but sometimes he gets mixed up with stuff on the field.
Though I can also see him going to a place like the Blue Jays in Toronto. They always seem to be buyers every year.
Yeah, Toronto,
or at least recently.
Yeah, Toronto would be a good place for him, just because they need some young help with Yorcora Bautista Encarnacion, those
Both
guys who are like
getting
35
up
and
there.
36.
Yeah.
You know, and they might not have him after this year, so Puig, who's young and controllable, might be able to help.
Mm-hmm.
I think David Ortiz said at the All-Star break that he would love for Encarnacion to replace him as the DH for the Red Sox.
Wow.
Which is like, I mean, he's being investigated for that because you're not allowed to say stuff like
Yeah.
that, Big Poppy. But nonetheless, he did say that. So Toronto may not have a hold on their core right now, which is kind of scary for Blue Jays fans. So
Yeah.
you're probably going to want to do as well as you can this year, but also look for the future. Kind of like what the Cubs did. Mike Montgomery is controllable with the team for a long time, and he's going to help this year.
Mm-hmm.
So
Definitely.
but will he get traded? I'm more hesitant on this because if I believe the Dodgers are going to be buyers, they're second in the NL East, NL West, I believe. Giants are definitely first.
Yes. Yeah.
Believe the Dodgers are second.
I think you're correct. But
I just being in Los Angeles, I think they're going to be buyers. So I'm hesitant to say that they will trade Puig.
I think that they will only trade him if it's a superstar deal. They're not going to trade him for prospects.
No, they got to get major league players
back.
back.
They have to get a Chris Archer, or a Cargo, or
which
just
is
something.
Why the Tampa Bay trade makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
It just works.
Yeah,
for both teams involved there. So maybe we should just be GMs.
Maybe
we should we should send this video to the Dodgers and the Rays. Be like, you know what? We got it all sorted out for you.
We're matchmakers.
Yeah, we are. We got it all sorted out for you, and this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, and so I guess this is not really a conversation that we need to have, but we put Kyle Schwarber on there, even though Theo Epstein has said he is not going to be traded.
Yeah, and he's not going to be traded. Let's be honest. The Cubs and the city of Chicago loves Kyle Schwarber. He leads the team in postseason home runs after one postseason.
You love that stat.
It's so funny. He has 5 postseason home runs, most in Chicago Cubs history, which is so funny to me. And I think we brought up last week about how many home runs he would have had this year at the rate he was going last year.
That was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Technically, when we filmed, it was last week. Yeah. Yes, you're correct.
So he's gonna be a star in Chicago for a while, and I don't know why Theo would mess that up. And he says he
knock on wood. Yeah, hey, you better knock on wood on that.
He says why would he mess that up as well?
It's true.
Why would he mess with the core?
It's true.
He's not moving anywhere, no matter what rumors say. As much as the Yankees want him, not happening.
And now moving on, I talked a little bit about this. Lucroy has been linked to Cleveland. I think it's a great fit. I think that's a really, really. I don't know what the Indians are going to give up for him, but I think that's a great fit in Cleveland.
Yeah, you have to replace Yan Gomes because he just went down recently after having a ritual for Jobu. Jabu?
I don't know.
Have you ever seen the movie Major League, Mitch?
No.
Oh, you are missing out. In that movie, though, the Cleveland baseball team, as I will call them.
Yes.
Cleveland was one of the worst teams in the league, and one of the characters, played by the Allstate guy, had a religious ritual where he would pray to Jabu. I think that's the character's name. Anyways, the real-life Cleveland Baseball Club did the same thing to wake up Yan Gomes' slumping bat, and then immediately got injured.
That's
hilarious. Yan Gomes has some Jobu. He's got some Jabu hate going on right now.
And I guess lastly, I mentioned him a little bit. Let's go on to Cargo.
Yes.
He's still a great player in the league. Where is he gonna go?
If I had to make a guess, it's hard to say. I have the Astros on here and the Mariners.
I would say Cardinals.
Preliminary teams. Yeah, Cardinals are on here as well. Mariners and Astros are on here as preliminary teams.
Mariners would be good too, though.
Yeah, because Astros already have George Springer.
Yeah,
the Astros need help anywhere they can get it right now.
That's true.
They're coming back a little bit, but they still need something a little bit extra.
Yeah.
To get them over the hump. The Mariners. They're doing pretty well this year,
They
surprisingly.
are.
I believe they're second in the AL West.
Yes.
I don't know where they are in the wild card.
But someone like Cargo can push them to get that wild card spot.
Exactly. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. And
they're
even the Cardinals,
definitely
it's like the Cardinals too.
they're
They're
close
out
enough
of
where
it right
they
now,
can.
but they're close enough to where one good player could push them over the edge and get them a wild card spot. And who knows? A team that makes a wild card, anything can happen.
The Mariners are third in the AL West right now, 5.5 out of the wild card, which is still close enough at this point.
A Cargo
can
can
go
get
for
rid
it.
of that, though.
Yeah. Which
exactly.
That'll be interesting. But yeah, Cargo, I think he said it best when he would go to the Cardinals, because we said earlier, Cardinals are just an endless well of good prospects and a good major league team.
Yeah, and yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, shall we move on to our next topic of the day?
Yes, I would like to move on. This is my favorite topic of the day.
It's mine too.
It's so good. It is NBA Summer League action. The Chicago Bulls won in the NBA Summer League thanks to 2 clutch shots by rookie first-round pick, 14th overall, Denzel Valentine, out of Michigan State, and he has looked great.
Yes.
Let me just tell you, I know we were just in baseball. Everyone knows baseball is my thing. Everyone knows basketball is your thing.
Yes.
But basketball for me is like hockey, and with the Blackhawks, where the Blackhawks have been great this year. I will always be a Bulls and Blackhawks fan, but just because just because the sports aren't too interesting enough to me where I'd want to watch every game. If they're getting into the crunch time and when things are getting exciting, that's definitely when I'll watch, because I love watching those sports when they're exciting. And the Bulls definitely made it exciting in the summer league.
They did. They
going
played well.
7-0. Bulls basketball hasn't been this good in a while.
Andy, stop yourself. This literally has no implications on the actual NBA, though.
I'm just saying, if you have the best of the best young players, then obviously that has no implication on real life success. But that means some good things for your team. If your best young players beat up on everyone else's best young players, that's good for your future.
But in my opinion, there's still so much time before the NBA season starts.
Yeah.
For all we know, Denzel Valentine could fall off during the actual off season.
I hope not. Don't say that.
Or
don't say these words.
Or players who didn't play as well could rise up. And in my opinion, any league that has Tyus Jones as its MVP, that doesn't mean anything. I can't take that seriously.
Yeah, you're right. But I guess you're right in the fact that the NBA, it means less to have good young players as other leagues, because NBA, it's always going to be like the same 5 guys kicking everyone else's butts.
It is.
But it does mean something marginally that your good young players are better than everyone else's good young players. I mean, we beat the Timberwolves, who have one of the best young cores out there.
They do have the best young core in the NBA. Still, I don't care.
Yeah.
Go Tyus Jones, nice job.
Good job. It wasn't just Valentine though for the Bulls.
No,
it was
Bobby Portis and Jerian Grant played so well.
I love Jerian Grant.
I didn't actually know that they had this, but Bobby Portis made the first team All NBA Summer League team.
Nice. That's awesome. Good for him. God, I love Jerian Grant though. I believe we talked about this.
We did
previously, where I thought his Notre Dame Fighting Irish team a couple of years ago was going to be the next Kemba Walker UConn team. They got close,
they did.
But I'm still a fan of him. I mean, if he can develop into something reasonable, sure.
Yeah, he's still young. Actually, though, as much as I'm hating on the Summer League, I love to watch it because it's played in a gymnasium.
Yeah.
And it's cool because sometimes the players on their team will coach the younger players. Karl Anthony Towns coached the Timberwolves in their semifinals playoff game.
Yeah, that was something.
He was playing in the Summer League last year.
Yeah, that's true. They did play the final though, and T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas,
They
the
did.
future vacated home of the Las Vegas Black Knights of the NHL.
Really?
Did you get the joke there?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
That the Las Vegas Black Knights won't be there for long.
No, they will not.
But we talked about that before.
Yeah.
There was no people there. Also, we just talked about that. No one was there. Which, I mean, it was the summer league, but does that say something about Vegas? A little bit, maybe. The basketball, the number one sport in the country right now, no one was there. But what I also think is funny is that I'm the one getting excited over it because the Bulls won, and I didn't even watch it. You're the one that
I
watched
it. I thought it was
watched
great.
it.
I watched it. It was great.
You're hating on it. I didn't watch it, and I'm loving it right now.
I love it. It's so entertaining. I don't care what anyone says. It's so entertaining.
Those last shots were entertaining.
They were great.
The back and forth, that was great. Bulls, Timberwolves,
yeah.
especially Thibodeau versus his old team.
Oh heck yeah!
I love Thibodeau, but we beat him. Take that, Thibodeau. That was fun to watch as a Bulls fan, just to see us do well after the boring season that we had.
Yeah,
we just needed something.
Oh, don't worry, next season's gonna be plenty exciting.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to talk about this in our episode 3 weeks ago because of the pre-recording and the special episode because of Mitch and being in Punta Cana. But Dwayne Wade to the Bulls.
Heck yeah.
That happened a couple of hours after we recorded episode 3 and a couple of hours before we recorded episode 4. But 4 was about the SB, so we couldn't really speak on it too much.
But if you haven't checked that out, go and check that out right now.
Be sure to go and check it out. I know people don't be confused. Mitch is in the episode. I tweeted it out and I said Mitch is in Punta Cana, but we still have an episode. I don't want people to think it was just me in that episode. Mitch is there as well. I understand Mitch is the main draw for this show.
Oh yeah.
He's there. It's not just me talking about the ESPYs by myself. But Dwayne Wade, Rajon Rondo, and Jimmy Butler.
You know, and once the NBA season approaches, we'll talk more obviously about.
Oh yeah, we'll
this.
Probably get into predictions and everything.
Oh yeah,
I'd say. I'm gonna predict that we will do predictions, and that
That's a good prediction.
Yeah, and that I will predict that the Bulls will make the playoffs. You know, Bulls all the way. We're gonna win the finals this year. That's what I say.
You need to come back down to earth.
We're gonna win the finals.
That's not true.
We're winning the finals, Mitch.
Okay.
Dwayne Wade, finals MVP and season MVP. Rajon Rondo is gonna have what's a lot of assists for a season in the NBA?
Like per game or total?
Total.
I don't know.
He's gonna have 1,000.
1,000?
He's gonna have 1,000 assists. Which is
wow.
Hold on, let me do the math on that. That's a lot per game.
Yeah.
1,000 divided by 82. That's 12 a game.
That's not bad.
That's not
doable.
bad. He can do 12 a game. He's gonna have 1,000 assists. Jimmy Butler, 40 points per game average. Denzel Valentine, Rookie of the Year, 4th in MVP voting. First round Hall of Famer. I'm just gonna keep going. Number retired with Michael Jordan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you done?
Yeah. I do want to comment though on everyone in the Chicago Bulls Facebook comments page getting so pissed off about Denzel Valentine wearing 45. All Jordan did in 45 was lose a playoff series. That's all he did in 45.
You're right.
Because if people don't know, Jordan came back towards the end of the 95-96 season or the 94-95 season, I believe. He came back towards the end of it because he was like, baseball's not for me. He came back last month of the season, couldn't wear 23 because it had already been previously retired in his name. So when he unretired, they didn't immediately unretire 23, wore 45 for a couple games, and then lost in the playoffs in the number 45 because he wasn't in his true form. And then went on to win 3 more championships after that, after they unretired 23, and he could wear that again. But people are so pissed off, like, how are you going to let the rookie wear Jordan's number?
Yeah.
And it's like, calm down, people.
If you don't want him to wear it, then retire it. Those 20 games that he played with it.
Exactly. If you don't want anyone to wear the jersey number, if you don't want anyone to wear the number, make them retire it. Clearly, the Bulls don't care.
If the Bulls retire 45,
Yeah, that's true. It's like the Heat retiring 23.
Yeah.
I mean, for Jordan. Uh, just another thing on that, he wore 45 in college. Like,
Yeah.
it's not
So
like he chose 45 when he got to the Bulls. It's not like someone going the Washington football team and choosing to be number 21 because of Sean Taylor.
you're right.
It's like no, it's like he had 45. He's allowed to wear that. I don't know. It's silly people getting upset about that. That's bull stuff.
It's,
It started with Summer League, and we got onto a rant about
it's
people
kind
getting
of
angry over
another silly
45.
topic.
It
Silly. It's
is.
very serious to you.
Oh, this next one? Oh, yeah, it
Oh, yeah.
is.
NCAA is back? Question mark.
Maybe? Could it return? So let me get into this because Mitch
Yeah.
has never played this
I've never
game.
played it. It seems fun, you know.
I'm
And
gonna, I'm
but
gonna,
for those of us like me, like explain what makes this game so awesome. Why is it revolutionary?
I still play this game, Mitch. I play NCAA Football 14 on my PS3. If you guys saw my tweet, I literally made a PlayStation Mountain back there because
Yeah,
I needed to use my PS3 to play this game. It's just so much fun. You know, you have people that play Madden, and in my mind, college football is better than the NFL, primarily because of just, their kids doing it for fun. That's a lot more. It just adds a different dynamic, and the whole college atmosphere is so much cooler than the NFL, just because you have so many teams, conferences, so many fans. It's just so much cooler. I don't know what about it is, but this game just encapsulates that perfectly. I'd give this game a 10 out of 10. It's awesome. You get to do recruiting, custom
that's cool.
conferences, playing the games, the bowl games. The bowl games, so much fun. Making your own coach and working your way up from a bottom tier school to a top tier school, becoming the head coach there. Like, you can start as the offensive coordinator on like University of Texas in San Antonio, and then work your way up through the years, through recruiting and winning games, and then get to be the head coach at Alabama.
That's
Like,
awesome.
it's so much fun. And one of my favorite aspects in any video games, if you guys don't know this, I love video games as much as I love sports. So I'm very into this. One of the coolest aspects in any game, whether it's a NASCAR, football, the trophy case. You can literally go back and see the trophies of like bowl games that you won in like rivalry
That's
games.
cool.
It's so cool. And they also had online dynasties, which they weren't franchises, they were dynasties. That's what they called them. Um, you can have online ones with up to 12 of your friends. I mean, just the I don't even know how to describe it. Just the feeling of being in college, just sitting back playing college football with your buddies. Uh, just a lazy Saturday. You're watching the games. You're playing the games. It's just so cool. And when the NCAA took that away in 2013, one of the worst days. I wouldn't want to say one of the worst days of my life. One of the worst days for video games because it took a 20-year franchise, just it went down the drain. Some background for people that don't know: this goes back to the Ed O'Bannon court case. Ed O'Bannon was a basketball player for UCLA in the 80s, I believe. And he noticed that in one of the NCAA basketball games that EA Sports made, they had the throwback UCLA team that didn't use names, but you could easily tell that they were them in these games. For Mitch, I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't.
Not playing it, they use the numbers and they kind of make the faces look like the kids on the team, but they don't put the actual names in there because you're not allowed to do that according to
Yeah.
the NCAA rules because they're not allowed to make money on their likeliness.
Yes.
But the way that EA Sports got around that is, like I said, not giving them names and making them the players they are. But they also allowed roster sharing, which allowed users to go and change all the names to their actual names, share that with everyone in the world, and then everyone had the actual rosters that were out there at the time. And EA Sports knew they were doing that, and
And they were just
they
kind of like, oh.
they like we allowed them to create these rosters. We can't control that. So that's how they got around that. Well, Ed O'Bannon sued EA Sports, and throughout that lawsuit, he didn't sue EA Sports. He sued the NCAA. Throughout the lawsuit, EA Sports kind of just like backed up, like, you know what? We don't want to get involved in that lawsuit,
Yeah.
so we just won't make the games from now on. and that lawsuit was recently almost finished. I believe the court ruled with Ed O'Bannon. It wasn't a lot of money. I believe each player will make a little bit of money from the NCAA for appearing in these games. But it's like, I think one former college football player shared the check that he got. It was like $12, and the fact that they killed the franchise for that. The player even said himself, like, wait, I don't get to play NCAA for $12.
Yeah.
Like, the kid was upset because he doesn't get to play the video game anymore. And if Mitch, I'm sorry you didn't get to experience that, because it's one of the best games out there.
I'll have to come play.
You will. If it makes a comeback, that's what we're doing.
Heck yeah.
Every day.
Because I'm just pumped about 2K17.
Yeah, that too is going to be great. The reason why we brought this up, though, is because recently at the E3 Expo in Los Angeles, they had a Madden dev talking about as soon as the NCAA makes the rights available again, EA is going to snap it up and continue making that game, which is exciting. Awesome. That comes close to the anniversary of when NCAA 17 should be coming out. It was a couple of weeks ago, and I was so sad that day. I did play NCAA 14 that day. It was a sad day. So hopefully this game makes a return. Probably a few of our listeners have played the game and know how amazing it is. But you mentioned 2K17. While we're on video games, 2K17 adding expansion this year.
You love that.
We literally talked about it earlier in the podcast. I love expansion. So it's cool seeing video games giving players more creativity when it comes to sports. And 2K has been a leader in that, giving players the opportunity to make their own jerseys, upload logos, stuff like that. Even the NCAA football franchise had that. They had a website that you could go and make your like FCS school out on the website and download it in the game. I think it's great giving players the ability to be creative, because that's one thing I love to be creative in. Since I was 3, I would, I learned to count with NASCAR because of all the numbers. I didn't know if Mitch knew that.
I didn't know
I'm
that.
a huge NASCAR fan, and I learned to count with NASCAR. Even when I was young, I would just create like fictional drivers and fictional sponsors and everything like that, and I still do that. I play Out of the Park Baseball 16, and I create my own league and just be creative like that. And I think it's a great way, people clearly playing video games as opposed to going outside and playing Pokemon. Playing outside and playing Pokemon is going to be more beneficial because you're walking around. Mitch knows that.
Oh yes.
How's your Pokemon search back in the States going?
It's all right. I caught a Weedle in the Dominican Republic.
That's pretty good. You will have him forever now in the United States. But allowing kids to be creative, if they're going to stay inside and play video games, is a great alternative to physical activity. Because for me, being creative and having the ability to showcase that is very important for a child. I mean, for me, the Andy and Mitch show was me being creative.
You're right.
It's I love it, man. This is just what I do, and video games allowing me to showcase that is awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
But off the tangent, NCAA football could return, and we're gonna play it when it does.
Heck yeah!
All right.
And now that we've lost all of our non-video game playing listeners, we kind of have a cool last topic, a hypothetical question. A question that will never actually be answered. But while I was in the Dominican Republic, I met a young man. His name was Saul, and he had been to the United States only once to visit Miami. And he said that Miami not only has the best sports fan in the world, but he also wrongly said that they have the best sports team. They have the best sports city in the United States right now.
Absolutely wrong.
Which is wrong completely.
Poor Saul. He needs to get out there more.
But he also said that Chicago has the best legacy in sports, which, that could be debated.
Debatable.
But I'm gonna ask you in this week's fan suggested topic.
Thank you, Saul. Fan suggestions.
Right now, what is the best sports city in America?
See, we didn't discuss this before we started because we wanted it to be a surprise. and I'm afraid that we might say the same one. So, and I'm afraid that I'm afraid to say mine now because you might have the same one. Because in my mind, it's fairly obvious which sports city is the best right now.
Go ahead, say it.
I got to go with Boston, Massachusetts.
What?
Yeah, clearly the best sports city right now. I believe every single team in Boston has won a championship within the past 7 years. You got the Patriots, the Bruins, the Celtics, and the Red Sox. The last one to win was the Celtics. Was that in 2008? Or was that 2007?
No, 2008.
2008 was the last. I mean, the latest one was New England in
last
2015.
Year.
But you had the Bruins in 2011, the Red Sox 2013, Celtics in 2008. Right now, they're the best sports city. I mean, you had
that's fair.
You had championships in all 4 sports in the last 10 years. I mean, I haven't looked this up, but I want to say that no other city can say that within the last 10 years. All right.
I think that you're correct there.
Yes.
But I'm thinking right now, this season, this calendar year, the best city in American sports is Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
All 3 of the potential teams, or of the teams, have the potential to win their championship this year.
Okay.
The Penguins just did it. The Steelers are a top 3 team in the league, in my opinion.
In your opinion, okay.
In my opinion, but everyone says, I mean, they're going to get more than 10 wins.
Yeah.
That's pretty much a given. They are such a superpower right now.
Yeah.
A kind of a hidden super team, I would say.
Okay.
And then you have the Pirates, who, I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think that they have the potential. I don't think that they can win, but I think that they can still do well in the playoffs. So right now I'm looking at, in this calendar year, all 3 teams have the potential to win their championship.
It's a good point that they are all very good teams right now.
And they all wear the black and yellow, and I think that's awesome.
They are missing basketball though.
They are.
Sucks. But they are close to Cleveland. They're kind of close.
They're closer to Philadelphia.
Do you think so? I'm trying to imagine Cleveland and Pittsburgh on the map. They're both on Lake Erie. Philadelphia's across the state.
Maybe. But I don't count Philadelphia. Philadelphia basketball's trash.
Yeah, it's true, yeah. But Pittsburgh, that's an interesting choice. In my mind, it's still Boston, just because of the very recent success. In the last 8 years, they have a ton of championships.
I was talking to my dad about this, and he said if you ignore the Browns, Cleveland is great.
Yeah, Cleveland's great. You got a championship team if you ignore the Browns.
And the Indians, who are the hottest team in baseball. But
you're absolutely right, but you have the Browns. It's an area. I don't want to say a city because it's an area. An area I considered is the Bay Area.
Yes.
The Giants, the Warriors, the Raiders this upcoming year are looking great with their, load of young talent. The Sharks were just in the Stanley Cup Finals. The Bay Area is looking good. The Giants have 3 championships. Warriors have 1.
That's a good point.
Sharks almost had 1. Raiders, I think this will be their breakout year. Everyone's kind of looking forward to the Raiders, I feel like.
I think so too. Everyone's waiting, but that's a good point too. I think that you could make a case for honestly all 3 of those teams.
If we want to talk about our city, Chicago, Chicago's pretty great.
Chicago has a great legacy.
Yeah, Chicago's up there right now with the Cubs, the Blackhawks, the Bulls, and the Bears, and the White Sox are. White
Sox and Bears are not.
Yeah, hopefully John Fox will turn that around in the next couple of years. Bulls are probably a playoff team, which is all right. Yeah. But when more than half the league makes the playoffs, what kind of, how much does that mean?
Yeah.
Which is one of the weird things about the NHL and the NBA that I will probably rant about.
We're not
sometime.
Gonna do that right now.
No, we're not going to do it right now. Sometime in the future, I'll probably talk about that. But best sports city right now, I'm going Boston.
I'm going Pittsburgh.
All right. So different of opinion right there. I respect your opinion.
I respect your opinion.
But I believe you're wrong. So there's that. That does it for our topics. Mitch, it's been a while since you've
It
had the
has.
spotlight. Since you've had,
I need it. I need my weekly dose
You
of the
need your weekly
spotlight.
dose of spotlight, where people can just listen to you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's give it to you, Mitch. Take it away.
I'm going to talk this week about a more serious topic. As the Olympics quickly approach us, the world has turned to Russia, the doping headquarters of the world, which is currently in the midst of a case with the Olympics to be banned from the Rio Olympics, which are just under 3 weeks away. And so I think this is a bigger problem than just Russia. Russia needs to be banned, but this is an investigation that needed to happen 12, 16 years ago. Because now it's gotten to the point where teams are getting, or nations are getting so good at hiding their doping that they're saying, man, I'm glad that wasn't us, and hey, pass the syringe in the same sentence. And it's gotten to that point where, you know, teams are just doping in order to win. And I think that the United States, which has had their fair share of doping scandals, we are not the golden child of the Olympics. By far, we're not. I just think that the United States needs to step forward and say, you know what, we need to have a clean uh, in even playing field. It comes down to the best athletes, not who can get their hands on the most steroids, the most HGH. I think that the United States needs to lead the world into a clean, safer ban against all doping, and I think that it needs to start with a ban of Russia.
In my FaceTime today, I mentioned it a little bit earlier in the podcast. It has to do with the negative stigma involved with rebuilding. I mentioned earlier that I was listening to ESPN 1000 on my way to work earlier this week. It was the Waddle and Sylvie show, and they were talking about the White Sox specifically, whether or not they should rebuild, they should just patch up what they got going right, or continue the patchwork that they've been doing in past off seasons, or continue the course just how they're going. And it was surprising to hear the amount of arguments against rebuilding. For me, having gone through it with the Cubs, it was so painful at the time. It was so painful. And you're going to lose a lot of fans by going through rebuilding, like I'm sure the Cubs have the White Sox. But at this point, the Cubs are the better team than the White Sox. I mean, just look at it from a record-wise, from any stat-wise, the Cubs are doing better than the White Sox. And the White Sox don't want to be left in that shadow for very long. And I can tell you from experience with the 07, the 08 Cubs, that the patchwork, it does not work very well. Eventually, everything is going to fall apart, and all you're going to be left with is patches. There's going to be no core. So for the White Sox, for any team that is trying to put off rebuilding right now, you need to reconsider, because right now, I'm bearing the fruits of the Cubs rebuilding, and it's amazing. We have Rizzo, Bryant, Schwarber. We're going to have them for 10 years plus, and all we had to do was go through a couple of years of just being, well, flat out bad. And it wasn't fun those years. But right now, I can tell you, it's paying off to be a Cubs fan and sticking with them for that long.
Agree.
Thank you, Mitch. Thank you for agreeing. So, that was our FaceTime. That was probably really loud. I apologize for that.
That was our show. Episode 005 comes to an end. If you have any questions...
No Porzingod.
No Porzingod yet. Very soon, though.
We're going to mention him every show until he comes on.
Porzingod, please.
Porzingod. I respect Latvia very much. I will give you many locks to come on our show. I believe locks is the currency in
I have no clue.
Latvia.
But thank you all for watching. As you do every week, like we said before, continued support lets us know that we're doing a great job, and we love to do this. If you have any comments, concerns, questions, once again, if you hate the way I'm wearing my hat, go ahead and tweet at the hashtag Andy and Mitch Show.
Yeah, tell him you hate his hat.
Tell me I hate my hat. Or
tell him you hate his hat. Hey, Mitch, don't forget about the surprise we have next week.
You're right. We do have a surprise next week. We will be having a guest on the show.
What?
Yes.
Another person?
Yes. It's not going to be just 2.
I know.
It's going
More
to be 3
opinions.
opinions.
3 opinions that are probably all
3
wrong.
wrong opinions.
Yeah. Oh
But
man, I
yeah,
can't
so
wait.
look forward to that. It's going to be an absolutely great show. In the future, we have a lot of people lined up for you guys, and I think that our community is really, really going to enjoy what we have coming forth. Once again, thank you all for the continued support. Tweet at us, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, make Andy run a marathon.
Make me run a marathon every time you subscribe.
And I guess
I'll do it. I'll do it.
That's
I'm
it, right,
crazy.
Andy?
Yeah, that's it. I have nothing else to say. I like ISU, not U of I.
All right, thank you guys so much, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.